Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's going to be a bit of a sit down, sort of kind of like a get ready with me for the day, and like a little catch up, because this particular week I'm officially on mat leave, and it's been a while since I posted last because I was kind of just like finishing up at work and basically just getting ready to obviously come on mat leave. So yeah, it's been a week. This week I've obviously officially kind of started. I've not been back at work, and I'm obviously not going back until July 2025. And now my battery is flashing. Oh, I'm gonna have to change that. Yeah, so I kind of have just spent the week kind of just adjusting and getting used to like not going to work and not going back to work for a while, and trying to kind of just enjoy the last moments of my pregnancy, because little girl will be here very, very soon, which is extremely exciting. But I've had, as I've said in previous videos, I've had such a really lovely pregnancy experience that I'm kind of just trying to enjoy these last moments, because I probably will miss being pregnant. So yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy these last moments. But it's definitely, I'm 37 weeks by the way as I'm filming this, and it's definitely feeling like she ain't got much room in there, and she's trying to get on out. It's definitely, yeah, you can feel the difference with a full-term baby. It's pretty crazy, because at the first movements that you're feeling, it's very much like kicks and punches and whatever, and they're like little thumps. And then it's like you get to this stage and it's like you're not really feeling that so much anymore. You're feeling like full-on movements, and your whole belly's like rolling over and stuff, which is pretty wild. So yeah, definitely feels like she's running out of some space in there. So she'll probably be here real soon, I think. But yeah, so I'm just trying to enjoy these last moments of this pregnancy before she does arrive. And in these kind of last moments, it's really got me thinking about, you know, a lot of things, how my life is about to change so much, reflecting on the past 30 years of my life and the growth and all the different stages of life, and how many times can I say life? And also not just myself, but also my friends and stuff. Like whenever we're hanging out and we're like catching up, I'm actually just getting ready because Jar's coming round, because yeah, she's going to spend the day with me and we're going to have like a little catch up as well. But it's just wild to think that, you know, we had summers of like carefree, just enjoying the weather, like out in the fields playing frisbee with music and like blankets on the grass and having like picnics and just relaxing and chilling, and not really doing much in terms of like adulting, but just enjoying life and not really having much worry and things like that, and just seeing my friends also progressing within their life and all sorts of stuff. It's just wild, isn't it? Different stages that you go through and the growth and everything that everyone comes into. It's just such a beautiful thing to kind of experience, especially when you have found your clique, your group, your friends that are really supportive of one another, which my friends are. You know, we all love each other, very supportive, super understanding. There's not like any weird vibes of like, okay, battery died obviously. So as I was saying, yeah, there's not any like weird animosity or like resentment or anything like that towards any of my friends really. We're all just really supportive and loving towards each other, and yeah, it's just so funny that how life happens, to be honest, because I'm very much in shock. I don't even know if shock's not the right word, but like disbelief is probably better that I'm about to be a mum and a parent, and like it's so surreal because this is all planned. Kai and I had the chat, you know, we knew this is what we wanted, and we really did not take that conversation lightly. We were super intentional with it, and like weren't like just willy-nilly, because it's a very big life-altering moment to become a parent. And I truly do believe that people either choose to have kids or they choose to be a parent, and there is a very big fucking difference between the two. And I know that with Kai and I, like, we did not want to make light of that decision. We didn't want to just have kids for the sake of having kids. Like, you have to really alter your life if you're choosing to be a parent and make sacrifices, and it's a selfless road to go down, basically, because you really are giving up a lot of your own selfish needs for the need of the child. I think, you know, sometimes people make that decision quite lightly, and they don't really fully understand the kind of work, growth, patience, reflection, like all sorts that you as a parent are going to also have to do in those stages. Because one of our friends, they've got 2 beautiful girls, and whenever I talk to them, like, even they'll say, like, you know, you think that you have a lot of, like, you think you've done a lot of growth, or you think that, you know, you really conquered your triggers or whatever it is, and when you have kids you really realise, actually, I still have a lot of growth to do, and I still have a lot of like emotional regulating to learn and all this kind of stuff. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's also reflecting that actually this is a journey for you as well as a first-time parent, or going into just parenthood in general as well, and like learning that stage of your life, and getting to know yourself. And you know, you always see those like videos of like people being like, you know, you've got to mourn your older self and all of that stuff. And I don't think it's necessarily that your old self has died, but I just think it's like, it's just a transition, isn't it? It's a growth aspect. It's like an evolution of yourself. So that old version of you is still there, but you also have to make adjustments because life isn't the same anymore. And I think that whole aspect of like that growth and evolution into parenthood is something that I've really obviously been thinking about, especially at this last stage of my pregnancy, because it's just fascinating to me personally. I'm just like, oh, there's so much to learn, for one. There's no one way of doing things. Kids are all individual, and what works for one might not work for another, and it's just such an insane thing to go through, of like parenthood, and that whole transition of like, I don't know, learning and growing with another human being that's new to this whole world and just starting out, but also having that beauty of being able to experience life again through their eyes is just, I don't know, I think it's really, really cool. But I also am quite sort of, I don't know, I think right now, I think it's really easy for me to say what I kind of, the belief system and the way that I think I might parent, but when you're in the trenches it's very different. And I think I'm quite aware of that, so I don't really want to say too much, because I always find when people that talk too much without actual experience end up getting like, what's the phrase? People in glass houses, right? Shouldn't throw stones, but yeah, like you don't really know until you physically experience it. But I'd like to think that we're going to be super open-minded, and we're kind of just taking it as it is, to be honest. But I definitely do have the mindset of, I don't want to, I just don't want to fall into the trap of giving absolutely everything to the child. And I know that that's going to sound really bad, but what I mean by that is, like, you know, I speak to a lot of my friends that are parents, and also you just see it a lot online and stuff. There's this whole kind of, oh my god, does anybody else get this? Complete side note, but you know when you just put makeup on, your whole face just then gets itchy and you just want to like scratch everywhere. But okay, so you see it everywhere, right? Like new mums, just speak to my friends that are also parents, but that whole aspect of like mum guilt and giving everything that you have to your child, that you completely neglect yourself, and you're no longer looking after yourself, and you don't prioritize yourself, and you don't do any of those things. And like, I understand that I will have an element of that, because I just think that it's a maternal instinct that you have, especially when they're newborns and they're basically just constantly trying to kill themselves. But what I just really don't want to fall into the trap of is getting so lost into that you struggle to find your way back. And it's also probably a bit of an element, after I've been thinking about this a lot, but there's probably an element of, you're a new mum, it's an evolution in your life, you've not experienced any of this before, you don't really know how to navigate through there, but also your body's changed because you're now in postpartum, so your body's still recovering, might not be the exact same as it was before pregnancy, so things might not necessarily fit the same way. Looking in the mirror, you're not exactly recognizing who that you're seeing looking back at you, so there's a lot of like disalignment or, you know, confusion around what you like, how you like to dress, what you like to do, especially because a lot of your time is now going into caregiving and looking after your child. So it's like, it's very easy to like get into that routine of the baby, and becoming that primary caregiver. And I think with maternity leave, it definitely pushes you to be the primary caregiver, because paternity leave just isn't as good. And yeah, so it's just obviously going to push women to take the longer time, be more at home, so you then just default become the primary caregiver, which is fair enough. But Kai and I have spoken about this so many times, in the fact that although I probably will be the primary caregiver, because again, I will be on maternity leave, I will be around more, he is going to be so involved. And a great tip that I saw online, I think is a good tip anyway, is about how you have to let the dads learn, like let them figure out their way of doing things rather than just jumping in and chiming in and getting involved. So I think for me personally, I'm really going to try and make that conscious effort of going out and letting him be with you know, our daughter by himself, so he can figure it out. And even if it is just for an hour or two, that I can focus on myself to be able to continuously pour into my cup, because I've spoken about it before on this channel, like, you know, personal development and self-love, self-growth, and I truly do believe in that. And I do think that we need to lead by example, and I think that, you know, kids that see their parents doing those things will also do those things, because they tend to just follow in our footsteps. So I don't want my daughter to kind of, I want my daughter to be confident and, you know, a free spirit and love herself and be a bit wild and all these things. But if I'm not doing that for her to see a role model in doing so, how is she going to be that? Like, I can't just tell her what to do, she has to physically see it and experience it. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun old time trying to figure out life as a mother, which is what I wanted to, I think this is what I want the channel to kind of be. It's just figuring out life as a mother, but in the sense of me, not just about my kid all the time and looking after her and doing all of that stuff, because I just think that as mums we get forgotten and pushed aside and pushed down in terms of ourselves. You know, we'll push ourselves down and we'll be the last priority on the list, and you know, your kids will come first and then probably the husband or your partner, and then it's you once you've dealt with everyone else. And I just don't think that that is what we need. I think that actually we need to really prioritize ourselves and not feel so guilty about it, and actually see it as what it is, which is you just can't give from an empty cup. Like, that doesn't change because you're now a mother. Like, it really doesn't. Like, you can't give from an empty cup. So your family is going to be so much more happy and love seeing you flourish and seeing you be happy and doing all these things, and you taking like an hour or two a day out just for yourself to like prioritize yourself. It does not make you a bad person, does not make you a bad mum. So I kind of want to venture out into that and hopefully help other mothers do so and feel positive to do it. Now, I know I'm saying this when I'm still technically, well, I know I'm saying this when I'm still pregnant and not physically looking after another human being that's not attached to my body the entire time. So let's just see if that changes. But those are my intentions, and I think I'll be good with it. We shall see. Anyway, this was a little bit of a rambly video, to be honest. I hope something came out of it, but yeah. I have started to film another video as well, because I want to clear out my closet, but my closet, that's so American. I want to clear out my wardrobe, but it's like I was just saying just a couple of seconds ago, like, postpartum bodies really are, I don't know what my postpartum body is going to be like, so I'm a little bit like, To be fair, most of my winter clothes are quite baggy, like what I'm currently wearing. This is actually pre-pregnancy clothes that just fit me during pregnancy, which is great. So actually I'm kind of quite grateful at the fact that I'm going to be giving birth at like autumn, winter time, because a lot of my clothes are baggier, which is nice. So I think I just need to like pack up the summer stuff. I want to get rid of all of the work clothes and all that kind of stuff. So I have started filming that. Funnily enough, I started filming it at the beginning of this week, which was Monday, and it is now Saturday, and I haven't finished it. So yeah, I will probably film that at some point next week. Finish filming that at some point next week, and that will be out. But fashion and clothing is definitely a big thing that I'm going to be very intrigued to see how that goes postpartum. But we shall figure that out together. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next week, or in the next video, basically. I need to stop saying I'll see you guys next week. I'll see you guys in the next video. Yeah.